in their communities with honor, courage, and commitment. Brought to you by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation and the Texas Veterans Chamber of Commerce. Welcome aboard. You've got Jim Blythe, U.S. Navy veteran. I'm here for you, and we're going to continue the mission talking about great things for Texas veterans. Chuck, unfortunately, is not with us today. And I haven't got my Marine sidekick to make fun of, so I guess we'll just have to do the best we can. One of the things that I want to do is I want to always give out the suicide prevention hotline number, 988, and press 1 if you're a veteran. If you've got mental health issues, if things are really getting to you, or you got a family member who's a veteran that needs some help, remember 988, press 1 if you're a veteran. That's an important number to remember. It's not a long phone number. It's an easy number. Now, today we're talking about something very, very special. I am a mortgage banker, and one of the things my company does is it works with the Texas Veterans Land Board. So I would like to welcome Miss Mallory Morris to our show today. Mallory, good morning, and how are you?
I'm great. It is cool outside, and as a Carolina girl, I am embracing the cooler weather today.
Hey, Mallory, this is Texas. It's August. It's mid-August. It's supposed to be 100 degrees. That was 2 weeks ago, wasn't it?
As a pandemic mover, I never have really acclimated to the Texas heat yet. So this is really my first Texas summer, and boy, is it not disappointing.
I got to tell you, too, and if you look at the Farmer's Almanac, and I know everybody looks at me and goes, are you nuts? What usually happens when we have a really, really hot summer, we have a really, really cold winter. So stand by for high winds and heavy seas. Mallory, you are with the Texas Veterans Land Board. That is a very, very important benefit to veterans who are in the state of Texas. So tell us a little bit about the Texas Veterans Land Board, and then let's get into the talking points so people know. And then we're also posting on Facebook the website for the Texas Veterans Land Board. So if you want to know more about this, go to vlb.texas.gov. There's an 800 number, 252-8387. You want to know about this, because if you want to own land in Texas, if you want to own a home, and there's a lot of other great benefits there. So, Valerie, tell us a little bit about this state agency and what they do.
So we are a part of the Texas General Land Office, which is actually older than the state of Texas itself. The General Land Office was created in the 1800s as a thank you for those who fought for Texas independence. And then the Veterans Land Board came about in the 40s after World War II to give thanks to all of our men and women who fought in the war. They could come back, buy their piece of land, and start the American dream, because that's what this country was about after World War II. And slowly over the years, we've added more programs. You can now get your home through us. We do home improvement projects. We now take care of you later in life with our nursing homes. And then we also have some cemetery benefits for you. I like to say that the Veterans Land Board takes care of you from the moment you sign your papers to join the military here in Texas to your last breath on earth. And even though veterans is in the name, if we have any listeners that are active duty, reservists, or National Guard, you are eligible for these programs that we're going to discuss today. You do not have to wait until you're a veteran.
I think this is really important. Now, I remember a long time ago when I first got started in mortgage, I helped some people do some VLB loans. And at that time, it was more like buying a piece of raw land, because a lot of banks did not finance land purchases. And I know FHA and the conventional lenders, Fannie and Freddie, don't do land purchases. This was an important part originally of the Texas Veterans Land Board, but you've gone way past that now. But you can still buy ag land if you want to using this loan, right?
Correct. Our land loan is for residential or agriculture or zoned properties. They have to be a minimum of 1 acre and access to a publicly identified road. And what's really unique about our land loan is that we only start at 5% down. Most banks make you put down 20 to 30%. And they also make you build within 6 months. We are still in pandemic times. I don't know of anybody that's able to get a construction loan and build a house within 6 months. And with our no building requirement, you can have so many options now. You can build your dream home and take as long as you need. You can turn it into farmland and get further ag exemptions, or you can leave it as hunting land, or you can do nothing with it. Because as long as you're happy, we're happy, and you're not breaking any county laws, you can do pretty much anything you want to with your land. And I'm going to talk about this again later, but you can use these loans as many times as you want to. I talk about this now with veterans, in particular, female and minority veterans. If you've ever had a dream of having a land portfolio for your family for inheritance, you can do that through the Veterans Land Board, because as soon as you buy a property and pay it off, you can come back again. So that means, you could buy in Dallas, El Paso, San Antonio, wherever your heart's desires. And also, I want to point out that we are the only organization in Texas that will combine a land loan and a construction loan and then roll it into a home loan.
That's that's a big deal, because most of your major lenders and banks won't do that. Especially now, let me ask you another question, because I'm not as familiar with your programs now as I was a long time ago, but that would enable you to have like a manufactured home and do that, couldn't it?
Yes. I don't think our home loans cover manufactured homes because the home cannot be moved.
Okay.
But if you, let's say, wanted to buy some property and put a manufactured home on there, absolutely, you could do that.
All right. What is your loan limit on the land loan?
It is $150,000. I realize that's not a lot compared in this market right now, but let's also say that the veteran has a spouse who also served. There is some gray area there where if you can get the seller to split the property, each veteran can apply for $150,000, making $300,000 instead of the $150,000.
Well, if I wanted to go, for instance, have a home out in East Texas near Athens or near Palestine or near, Mount Vernon, I could buy 10 or 15 acres, and then, you could do that with $150,000 easily.
Absolutely. And I also want to blow this idea out of the water too, because I get this all the time. If you have a VA loan on your house, that does not mean you cannot buy land with us. The two do not interact at all. So if you have a VA loan on your house right now, you can certainly come to the Veterans Land Board and buy the land or the piece of property that you want.
Now, is it also true, let's say that I'm going to buy a house, and the house that I want to buy is priced more than the VA loan limit, that I can combine that with the Texas Veterans Land Board loan? That used to be something they did. Is they still do that?
I believe so, yes. So that's, but that's, I think, also when you are, doing the construction part.
Yes.
So let's say you're building your home and it's more. So you can combine the 150 plus now with the Veterans Land Board, you can borrow up to $647,200 for your home loan. So you can combine those two together. And as long as the land and the house come under that, you can utilize the loans that way.
Whoa,
together.
That's a real nice home. Real nice home. But
yeah.
if you, like I said, if you wanted to retire and move to a smaller community, that would be a great opportunity to do that. Okay, let's talk about who does qualify for this loan. Let's make that very clear to everybody.
Okay. So I want to first, I was talking with Diane yesterday, and she didn't know this. A lot of people get us confused with the Texas Hazelwood benefits, which that is your education benefits that you get if you enlisted in Texas. You only have to live in Texas 1 day to be eligible for the Veterans Land Board loans. And you do not have to have enlisted in Texas. You do not have to have been born in Texas. As long as you have a utility bill going to an address in Texas, you in our eyes are a resident. Now, we do say, please get your driver's license as soon as you can. But, I know you have listeners all over the United States, and we are rapidly growing to be the #1 state for veterans in the country. We are outpacing California by quite a bit. So they're the #1 right now. But I would suspect by 2030, we are going to claim that top spot.
I have a feeling it's a lot sooner than that because, man, I'm working with a lot of seniors who are getting out of California because of the expense, and they can come here or come to Oklahoma. I'm helping a lot of them. One of the other things that I think is really great, now you talked about active duty military, Guard, etc. The interest is on hold if you get deployed. So in other words, if you're down in any one of our forts in the state of Texas or any one of our bases in the state of Texas, and you want to buy a piece of Texas, you can do that. But if you suddenly get deployed, the interest is on hold if you choose to do that.
And I've been working with a lot of National Guard units lately, especially like attending their yellow ribbons and giving them this information. And we already have a family that is going to apply for land while the wife is on deployment. And, it's a great option because we at the Veterans Land Board, we don't get angry if you pay your loan off early because we want you to use us as many times as you want to. And, that's the difference between us and the big banks. Because, as you know, you've been in banking and mortgaging a long time. Banks love to make their money off of all that interest.
Yeah.
So, with deployments, usually you can, or you're paid well for deployments. You can throw all that money towards your principal and, then come back and buy more land. Well,
Mallory, one of the things that's happening right now is a lot of active duty military are getting huge reenlistment bonuses. I have seen some amazing things. What would you do with that money? I couldn't tell you anything better than if you found the right piece of land and you said, I'm going to buy this piece of land and use, that bonus to help me make it a better deal. What a great deal, because here's a way to invest that. And it would be absolute. And you're right. When you're overseas, you've got additional income. So all of a sudden you're creating some wealth for your future, for retirement, for your family that nobody even thought about.
I firmly believe that home is where the heart is. And, and a home is your safe place. And what a better way to do that than come through the Veterans Land Board and, help prepare for that future, help create that stability, and, just make the American dream. A real estate agent that I talked with last month, he said something that has stuck with me. The first time you buy a home or a piece of land, it's going to change your life. Oh. And I can't wait to experience that myself, but he's absolutely right.
Oh, absolutely. And I got started in real estate after the Navy when I was in college in 1972. And I helped people buy homes then. And I got to tell you, it is a life-changing event, but it's also huge wealth building. Diane and I bought a home in 2013, and it's more than doubled. And I think that's been an unusual thing, but that's what's happened. Now, we've got some tough issues today with lack of housing, and I think there's ways that you could go and buy that piece of land that you want and do something with it that nobody even thought about. And again, Texas Veterans Land Board. So we're going to go take a break to hear from all of our commercial partners. And especially, we want to say thank you to the AUN Network in California. Thank you to the Noble Network in South Texas. Thank you to Nathaniel, and thank you to my wife, Diane. And thank you for Chuck for introducing us to Mallory. You're listening to the Veterans Impact Show, and it's important that you pay attention because we're going to show you how to build wealth by buying real estate. Again, this is all about the Texas Veterans Land Board. We've got that up where you can take a look at it and take a look at what you can do to help yourself own a piece of the state of Texas. You want to do that. So this is Jim Blythe. And I'll be right back after these words from all of our partners. Thank you for being with us. Stay with us on Facebook. Stay with us. Thank you. Now, Mallory, we're on break and we're still live on Facebook. And so we want, again, Facebook to know the 800 number is 800-252-8387. So let's say you're in California listening to our networks out there and watching on TV, and you're thinking, gee, I'm thinking about retiring. I could sell and come to Texas. You could finance a piece of raw land and build whatever you wanted. If you were military and you were in Texas for only, one day, and you get your Texas driver's license, that's a deal. Even if you were born in North Carolina, you're still going to qualify?
Absolutely. They say that Texas is the best state for all of the benefits, for veterans. And as someone who is from the Carolinas, I've never seen a program like this before. And, I agree with everyone who says Texas is the best place to be if you are military.
Without a doubt.
And I know we're located in, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I make an argument that they're coming here.
Oh, yeah.
The jobs are here. We have over 90 military defense contractors, located in DFW. And by the way, a lot of them are hiring. So people listening, looking for a job, get on LinkedIn, go find these contractors because they are hiring.
And how many did you say are here?
About 90.
Try again. There are, because I belong to an organization, and Barry Brown, who's head of Navy or former head of Navy League, and I are good friends. He's a banker. There are about 400 defense contractors in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, believe it or not. So one of the things that we're endeavoring to do is work with the VA in building a resource to be able to help people, because many of these contractors want to hire veterans, no doubt about it. And the opportunities are there.
And they could use the Veterans Land Board as a recruiting tool to get them to move to Texas.
Oh, you bet. You bet. And I know, because in North Texas with all the jobs, I know who to send them to.
Yeah, that's right. And, we want, and another thing, if there's anybody listening that works for a business that hires a lot of veterans, call me, email me. I want to give a presentation about your benefits with the Veterans Land Board, because sadly, 90% of the people that I meet do not know about their benefits with the Veterans Land Board.
Well, Mallory, let's give out your email address so that everybody knows what that is on Facebook and on our YouTube and on our California, because if they want to move here, we want to help them. So what's your email address?
Okay, it's Mallory, Mallory, and then a period, Morris, Morris, @GLO, so that's G as in Gary, L as in lollipop, O as in orange, .Texas, and Texas is written out, .gov.
All right, that's a good thing. And then you've got a phone number that everybody can reach you at, and that's a 512 number, so tell us that number.
Okay, you can reach me at 512-750-2681.
All right. Now, approximately, do you have any earthly idea, and I'm kind of going off script, how many millions of dollars are basically spent by the Texas Veterans Land Board or being loaned out? Okay, I'm about to, why don't we take this question when we come back? So we're going to be coming back. Hang on. Welcome back to the Veterans Impact Show. Thanks to our great sponsors, Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation and the Texas Veterans Chamber of Commerce. Now, let's continue this conversation. We got a great conversation going this morning with Mallory Morris of the Texas Veterans Land Commission. Most people don't know about this service in the state of Texas, correct, Mallory?
Correct.
Okay, we want people to know what is the website for people to go to, because if you want to own a piece of Texas, if you're having trouble, want to retire, want to move, want to come here, having a hard time finding a home, you can actually use this if you are a veteran, to active military, whatever, to be able to buy a piece of land, build a home, buy a home, all of that. Again, let's go to the website, is the VLB.texas.gov, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
Now, let's talk a little bit about some of the programs within this program, which we've got your website pulled up, and everybody on
Yes.
Facebook can see that. So let's talk about land auctions. How does that work?
So land auctions are what we're most known for. Everyone loves the land auctions. That was the number one question I got during the pandemic. So 4 times a year, we will have land auctions that is foreclosed property from veterans that we only sell back first to veterans or other types of military. So active duty reservists, National Guard. And they're foreclosed properties. We don't know where the properties are until we get them. The foreclosure process, as you know, is a legal federal process. So we just had our first land auction in 2 years back in April. We had 3 properties. Our summer auction just ended at the end of July. We had 8 properties. And so our next one is going to be at the end of October. So if you are not on our newsletter, please, you can sign up on our website, or you can, reach out to me. I'll put you on our newsletter. We will notify you when the properties are posted on our website, and you can actually go look at these properties because nobody wants to bid on anything sight unseen if they can. These are blind auctions, so you won't know, who bid, against you. But let me preface this. Let's say that you find one of our properties and you really want it, and it goes for $100,000. And let's say you bid 120 and you win. You will need to bring the 20,000 in closing costs, but you can use our land loan to finance the $100,000.
Oh, that's a good deal.
Yeah,
that's a
lot
very
of
good
people,
deal.
Foreclosed land I think is probably cheaper than what market rate is. But, it's a good idea, to think about our land auctions if you just want to start acquiring properties. And some of the properties are actually pretty good. We've had some properties that are over 10 acres. We've had some that are only 2. But it's been in my experience so far that each of the properties that we have, they are all over 1 acre. Because as you know, with our land loan, it has to be over 1 acre anyway. And I want to bring people's attention to a website that they can use not only to look at our properties, because they're going to be on our website, but they're also going to be on this website. But you can also use this website to find land all over Texas. And it is landsoftexas.com.
Never heard of that. That's cool. Say it again.
You can put in our requirements, Jim, like an over 1 acre, access to a public road, and zoned either residential, agricultural, and it will pull up every available property in Texas. Now, let me also say that if you want to buy land through us, that property has to be wholly in Texas. So it can't be a sliver in New Mexico, Oklahoma, Louisiana. It's got to be the full caboodle in Texas.
Well, Oklahoma is a pretty neat state. I'm up there all the time, but I understand the Red River is a huge block, right?
Yes, sir.
But if you want to be, and now, how much do you guys lend in a year? I mean, you talked about 8, you talked about 3 that have been foreclosed. That is relatively minuscule as compared to the dollar volume and the number of loans that you guys do in a year.
I'm not quite sure. I do know right now our most popular products are the land loan and, believe it or not, the home improvement loan. We got so many inquiries about the home improvement project loan during the pandemic because everybody was stuck in their house for 2 years.
Yeah.
So now that we are all getting back out again, I'm seeing, of course, the continued uptick of land. But also, people are wanting to move. They want to, maybe move into a new house.
Hey, that's a good deal. Let me tell you, Mallory, my wife's ears just kind of pointed and her eyes lit up because we've owned our home for a while, and there's a lot of painting, touch-up, fix-up. All right, we're going to be right back after this word from all of our partners. You're listening to the Veterans Impact Show. I'm Jim Blythe, U.S. Navy veteran, talking with Mallory Morris of the Texas Veterans Land Board. What a great opportunity for veterans. We're going to be right back after these words. Stay with us on YouTube. Stay with us on Facebook. We'll be right back for you. Now, Mallory, that was an incredible conversation. So when we go into this next one, which we've got a 16-minute segment, um, I want to really talk about the lower interest rate, the 30% disabled, the max, all of these combinations that we can do with the home loan as well as the home improvement loan, because home improvement loans, a lot of banks won't do, or their banks will do them, but they're not all that great, you know. All right, so let's start with the home improvement loans, and then we'll come back around. And then I'd never seen this before, nursing homes. That's an amazing thing.
Absolutely. And I can't wait to talk about the one that is coming right to the DFW area.
Really? What's that?
Yes. It's going to be right behind the Tarrant County VA hospital.
Oh, so this is a Texas Veterans Land Board nursing home for
Yes.
veterans. So it is exclusively for veterans.
And spouses and Gold Star parents.
Wow. Huh. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the home improvement loan, and then let's get into that nursing home deal, and maybe then we'll finish up about the regular home loan, because we kind of hit on that a minute ago.
Absolutely. Like I said, this is Texas's best kept secret, and it's time to blow the door wide open.
Well, let me see what I can do to get out there and get a lot of these wonderful people in California who want to come here where it's cheaper, and they just really, a lot of people live down in the Southern California. The heat doesn't bother them. They're used to it.
I think I told you I moved here from Columbia, South Carolina, which is the hottest part of the whole state. Like, they call it the armpit. And I thought that heat was going to prepare me for Texas. That was a lie. I lived right down the road from Fort Jackson in Columbia, and, it was hot. And I moved here, and I'm like, oh, that was baby cakes.
Well, what you're talking about down there in Columbia is high humidity. Now, you can get that high humidity down in Houston. Let me tell you something. There is something about Houston. If you need to lose weight, that's a place to go walk around downtown. I mean, that's like walking around Washington, D.C. in August. Whoa.
Yeah. When they asked me, when I was interviewing for the job, like where I'd like to be, and I told them, like, no Bonanza, young people, and a Greek church, because I'm Greek Orthodox. But I'm really happy they assigned me to Dallas because, I'm from the Carolinas. We've done hurricanes. I'm good not experiencing that anymore. So, I'm happy not to be down in Houston.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I was on an aircraft carrier that went through one of the worst typhoons that anybody'd seen to date in southern Japan, and I got to tell you, that is no fun. I don't ever want to go through one of those again. All right, we're going to be back on the air in just a second, so stay with us, Facebook. We're having a lot of fun with Miss Mallory Morris of the Texas Veterans Land Board. Now we're on. Welcome back to the Veterans Impact Show. Thanks to our great sponsors, Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation and the Texas Veterans Chamber of Commerce. Now, let's continue this conversation. Well, I want to say a very, very special thank you to my beautiful wife, Diane, and to my great friend, Nathaniel, who are running this show. And if you hear a little sidebar comments, that's my wife trying to keep me in line. No bad deal. Mallory, you and Diane became friends when we ran into you at one of the events. You do a lot of events in North Texas, correct?
I do, and that's another thing. If anybody's listening and you have a community event that is veteran-centric, let us know. We would love to come and set up a table in our tent and educate the community about who we are. We love coming to events, and, now that we are out in the field again, we are also trying to plan resource fairs. So, I am very firmly about bringing the resources to the people. So, if anybody has any interest in that, please let us know. We would love to work with you.
All right. Now, again, it's Mallory.Morris, Mallory @glotexas.gov. That's glo.texas.gov. And I think that's important. Mallory's phone number is 512-750, I'm sorry, I'm trying to read at a distance. My glasses are not that good. 2681, or the 800 number if you're in South Texas, 800-252-8387. There are other people just as great as Mallory throughout the state of Texas to try and help you. One of the things that we were talking about, we talked about the home improvement loan. You've got opportunities to do home improvement loans that are probably cheaper, easier, and better than what you're going to run into in a bank, correct?
Absolutely. And so the home improvement loan, you can borrow up to $50,000. Anything over $25,000, the equity of your home will be assessed. But here's why you should consider the Veterans Land Board. You get to pick the contractor. We want you to be comfortable with who's coming in your own home. Now, I know there's a ton of veterans listening, and you were probably taught how to do a lot of home improvement while you were in the military. Sadly, you have to have a licensed contractor. You cannot do the work yourself. But if there are any veterans listening that are in the home improvement, sector that are licensed contractors, think about this. You can send your clients to us for the financing, and then they get to pay you to do the work. So I love the home improvement loan because we are potentially helping veteran business owners, and we're helping veteran families at the same time fix their home. And what type of projects do we do? We do everything from roof, kitchens, bathrooms, solar panels. We do foundations, and we even put fences in the backyard. The biggest question I get is, because we live in Texas, can I put in a pool? Sadly, we do not, but I think a lot of women will be happy to know we will put jacuzzis in all of your bathrooms.
My wife just lit up. Okay, I'm in trouble now. And one of the things that I think is important to know, that if you are 30% disabled or more, there's a half a point lower on your interest. So if you want to do some home improvements to do handicap things, that's just terrific. Or you just want to make it look good. Now,
yeah. And Jenna, let me interrupt you. So our interest rates, they change once a week on Fridays at 5:30. And so yesterday, our new rates are, if you are 30% or more disabled, the interest rate is 4.75%, and you have up to 20 years to pay off that home improvement loan. For our home loan, we do loan terms up to 30, and then our interest rate, if we want to go back to land real quick, that interest rate is fixed. It will never change unless the Veterans Land Board changes that, and that's 6.95%, but it's up to a 30-year loan. Now, for this week, if you are under 30% disabled, your interest rate is 5.25. So these two numbers that I just threw out at you, that is for the home loan and the home improvement loan. And I like to say that we are very competitive with the market.
Oh, yeah,
as far
you
as
are.
Our interest rates. And then, also offering that discount at, 30%, so you get that half a point lower in interest. And you can do multiple projects under one loan. Did you know that, Jim?
No, I didn't know that.
So let's say that you need bathroom work and kitchen work done. You can call the contractor and get the quote, and then the cost of the materials, submit it to us, and then we will go through all the checks and balances, making sure we have all your paperwork and your forms. And, then we cut you the check, and then you pay the contractor and get the work done.
There's also going to Home Depot or Lowe's, they give a discount to veterans. So if you did it the way you're talking about doing it, I can go buy it from Home Depot or from Lowe's, and then turn that into you, and I've got a 10% discount plus the lower interest rate, correct?
Well, the materials and the work cannot have been started before the money is dispersed.
Okay.
Now, if your contractor wants to take you to Home Depot to get that discount on the materials, that's, an option, because then they can make that quote less.
Yeah.
That you turn into the Veterans Land Board.
All right. Can we change the subject just a little bit? because we've
Sure.
been talking about home loans, we've been talking about home improvement loans. That's incredibly important. But there's something new for me now. I may have been around quite a while. The nursing home deal. Tell me about that. You said they're actually building a facility in Fort Worth. Tell us a
We
little bit
are.
about that.
So we currently have 9 nursing homes all around the state. Our newest one opened up the month before the pandemic started down in Houston. But these homes are not just for veterans, they are for their spouses and Gold Star parents. And if you are 70% or more disabled, your stay is completely free, including medications. And
Whoa.
another thing that we are proud to say about our nursing homes is that we do not go after your assets like most private nursing homes would just to cover the stay. And we are our home in Tarrant County that is, I think, about shy of a year of being finished. I believe it's going to be 35,000 square feet. It's going to feature a memory care unit, just like all of our other homes, which I recently found out most private nursing homes don't have the capacity to have memory care units. So that is huge. So we now can take care of our veterans, our spouses, and Gold Star parents if they do have memory issues. And here is another great point if for our listeners outside of Texas, you do not have to be a Texas resident for our nursing homes. So if there are any listeners today that have a parent in another state and you know that parent is getting older, you can move them to Texas and have them stay in one of our homes if they have served, or if it's your mother or your father that didn't serve but your other spouse or parent did. Let's bring them to Texas so they're closer to you, and we can take very well care of them in our nursing homes.
Mallory,
And
where could I find a list of these nursing homes? Is it on your website?
it is. So you can go to vlb.texas.gov, and I believe it's called nursing homes. It's one of the tabs in the top right corner or going across the middle of the web page. And then you click locations, and we have a VLB representative at every site on around Texas, and you can call that representative and find out more information about that home specifically near you. Also want to mention, let's say that you live in Houston and the Houston home is all full. We can put that loved one in a nearby home, and then when there's an opening in the Houston home, we can transfer that loved one. But it's my understanding right now, all of the homes are not even 50% full. So
Okay.
that's not an issue.
For Facebook and YouTube, we pull that up, the Texas Veterans Homes. That is a huge thing because there's the cost. I know the cost of memory care. I know the cost of full care is exorbitant. So actually, a family member of a veteran could qualify for something like this. I think that's an incredible opportunity. That's an incredible thing to be able to help people because, after all, my Vietnam veteran brothers and sisters, we're getting on up there. And this is an important thing to know about.
It is. And, I also love the idea that we now take care of the spouses, because that also means, if one spouse is already in the home, and let's say the other spouse is now declining and needs 24-hour care, we can now keep those spouses together.
Oh, that's great. That is huge. Say that again. Tell everybody that again. We need to blast that out.
So let's say the veteran is in the home because that veteran needs 24-hour care, and then it comes time for his or her spouse that needs 24-hour care. They can move into that same home should they wish. And then we can keep, families and couples together. I've only heard of one story of a veteran not being happy in our home, and it was because he was placed in a predominantly female home, and he wanted to be with his male buddies. So
Wait a minute. That ain't no bad deal. I mean, it could have been worse.
and I would also like to highlight a couple of programs that we do in our nursing home. So because of the pandemic, we started Mail Drop. And if you have ever wanted to basically be like a pen pal to a veteran in one of our homes, we would love for you to go on our website and match up with a veteran. And you can send cards, letters, and pictures. We also have our 100 for 100 program. So if we have a resident that turns 100 years old in one of our homes. We do a birthday card drive on our social media pages. And we just had one down in the Tyler home, and he received over 1,000 birthday cards for his birthday this summer.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. And again, people can go to the Texas Veterans Land Board website and find out all about these wonderful benefits and things that you can do. Now,
I mentioned earlier today that we take care of you from the moment that you sign the papers to your last breath on earth. And, I think the nursing homes is a good segue to quickly talk about our cemetery programs. I know our cemetery is, we have 4 state cemeteries in the state, in Abilene, Mission, Corpus Christi, and Killeen, Mission, Abilene, Corpus Christi, and there's another one. But I want to bring attention to, I think, what is our most special program that we have at the Veterans Land Board. That was started by Chairman George P. Bush in 2015, and that's the unaccompanied veterans burial. If you are a veteran with no family, like we can't find your family, you just don't have access or contact with your family, we will give you a free funeral and bury you with full military honors at one of our 4 state cemeteries. And I think this is an incredible thing that we do, especially for our homeless veterans that maybe, just have completely lost touch, with their family, or they are just too far gone and we can't get in contact with the family. But we are having, I believe, a funeral this week coming up for a female veteran. And we invite the community to come out to these, and they're very well attended. And it just warms my heart that no veteran is going to be buried alone, because the community is there to support that veteran.
Yes, I have seen those. And one of the things is there is a group of motorcycle veterans that use motorcycles, that they provide a cavalcade, and it's really salute. I think that's the way we need to take care of people. And I just absolutely honor George P. Bush and the Texas Veterans Land Board for all of the wonderful things that you guys are doing for veterans. So as we're beginning to close this segment down, let's just go back over real quick for people who have just tuned in. We're talking about the Texas Veterans Land Board, which is an opportunity to buy land, to buy a home, to do home improvements, to have an opportunity to put a family member, be a family member in a nursing home, state cemeteries, and then the last thing, Voices of Veterans. Tell us a little bit about that one.
Oh, that is a very special program. So we are seeking to record every veteran's story that lives in Texas. We don't care if you were the janitor while you were in the military. Every story is important. So they're usually phone interviews, but we have a team that will actually conduct these interviews with the veteran. You tell your story. We put that recording on our website for future generations to hear, but we will also take that recording and put it in our office next to artifacts from the Alamo, and that makes you a record part of Texas state history. And, as you know, serving your country is more than just serving your country. It is a true sacrifice for you and your family. And we are just so thankful that for everyone who has served. And we want to share your story because everyone is so important. And today's generation, in my opinion, they don't really know of the sacrifices that you all have made. And I just think it's a wonderful tribute, not only to the veteran, and it's a keepsake for the family, but also, for future Texans to know how important your story is.
Well, Valerie, I am so appreciative that you said that. Now, I got to tell you, yes, I served 4 years Vietnam on aircraft carriers, but it was the greatest adventure of the world for me. So I don't look at it as a sacrifice. I look at it an opportunity to grow, to learn, to gain leadership skills. But most of all, I had a heck of a good time. So, yes, it's a sacrifice for many people, but for many people, too, it is the adventure of a lifetime. So we're going to be right back after these words from all of our partners. We're talking with Mallory Morris of the Texas Veterans Land Board. I'm Jim Blythe. This is the Veterans Impact Show.
If I went off script, I'm sorry.
No, that's what we do. This is all about doing stuff like that. This is live radio. This is live TV as well. And we're going out this afternoon and work with the Sea Cadets. And we got an opportunity. Sea Cadets is actually part of the U.S. Navy for high school age kids. And we got a chance to interview them. So on Facebook and YouTube, you want to take a look at our YouTube interviews. Those were just spontaneous, not scripted. It was a lot of fun. We're going to be working with the younger generation of Sea Cadets. That's something that is so cool, that is just great that we're doing with the Veterans Impact Show. But also, I think it's so important people know. And as you said, thank you. My company, Fairway, we're one of the lenders that you guys work with. That's pretty important.
Yeah, and we will make sure to mention this again when we go live. If you are interested in doing a home loan through us, we offer FHA, conventional, and VA financing, and you can choose any lender in our network. We only let our lenders advertise it in 10 counties at a time. So I highly recommend going to some of the bigger counties and looking to see what companies are out there. Obviously, Fairway is a great choice. And, so you can see who is in your area. I've noticed that a lot of our lenders in our network, they are veterans.
Oh, yeah.
And and what I love is that it's veterans helping veterans. So it's a wonderful opportunity. But again, if y'all need any help, always reach out to me. I can help any veteran in Texas. It doesn't matter where you live, or you can reach out to my counterparts, or you can reach out to our wonderful call center, who is actually made up of all veterans except one person, but he's been there for 20 years, so we might as well call him a veteran.
Oh, he is. He is. Let me ask you a question. This kind of off script, too. I'm a specialist. I work with seniors doing financial counseling and helping them find money and use their home equity. I'm a reverse mortgage specialist. Is there a way that I can get involved with the Texas Veterans Land Board because I'm part of Fairway?
That'll have to be a question that you talk to Gateway. So Gateway Mortgage is the big umbrella that we service, or they are the mothership. So if there's any mortgage person listening and they want to join the VLB network, you can go to our website under the home loans, and there is I believe there's a phone number and an email address for Gateway to start that conversation.
I'm going to do that because I'm finding more and more veterans. I have had some of the most fabulous conversations. I got to tell you, when you talk to a man who served as a gunner on a B-29 flying off of Tinian, when you talked with a veteran, and there's one over in Fort Worth that I absolutely love who's still with us, who was one of the survivors of Iwo Jima. I mean, you get to meet these men and women who went through so much in World War II and now Vietnam and Korea. I have helped a lot of Korean veterans. And one of the other things is many of them come to me and they have hearing disabilities. They have all kind of problems. And I say, go to the VA and get your disability because it will reduce your taxes. There are a lot of opportunities within the Veterans Land Board that having that disability letter will save you a lot of money. All right, we're going to be right back. Hang with us. Welcome back to the Veterans Impact Show. Thanks to our great sponsors, Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation and the Texas Veterans Chamber of Commerce. Now, let's continue this conversation. Well, this is Jim Blythe, U.S. Navy veteran, and we're about to bring this program back into the dock and put her down for the weekend. This has been a great conversation with Miss Mallory Morris. Mallory, you got a smile that just lights up the whole room, and thank you. I know you had some surgery recently, and you have really gone above and beyond to be a part of this so we can get this information out. Thank you very, very, very much. I really appreciate that. Again, let's give everybody the Texas Veterans Land Board website, their 800 number. Let's get that information out. So tell us that real quick.
VLB.texas.gov, and you put me on the spot because at the moment it's 1-800
252 8387. That's 800-252-8387. I know, I kind of threw you a curve, but your personal telephone number, that is your business is 512-750-2681. You'll talk to people. You can refer them to your other partners around the state. But this is a fantastic program. You want to buy a home, you want home improvement, you want special financing, you want a chance to maybe invest in real estate, so there's an opportunity with the land auction. All of this, you need to go to the VLB website, and I think that's incredibly important. And it shows that Texas is working for our veterans. We are continuing the mission.
And, if we have any real estate agents listening today, call us. We have a realtor's presentation that we can do, to kind of give you the realtor's side of, how the VLB works, because realtors can still get their commission with us. And,
that's something that we need to do. We need to put together some events, maybe a lunch and learn after one of the programs, and have you as a featured speaker, because this is so important. You want to do wealth building? You want to have a home? Go to Mallory. Go to the VLB. Start there. You can connect a lender. You can connect all of the things you need, correct?
Absolutely. There are so many lenders in our network. There's so many great people to work with. And, veterans who need, some assistance, we have a ton of lenders, too, that want to see you get your American dream of your land, of your home. I know of several lenders here in the DFW area that's willing to help any veteran work on their credit, because not everybody's credit is the best when they get out of the military, because they don't teach you, don't go take out a bunch of credit cards, when you first join the military. All of us have our own financial, story, but there are lenders out there that are in the VLB network that want to see you succeed.
Oh,
so if
absolutely.
if you think your credit is not where it should be, come talk to us anyway, because there are home lenders that will help you work on your credit. And then if you qualify for our home loan, you're going to qualify for any of our loans.
Well, let me tell you something about a reverse mortgage. If you're moving here from California, we don't look at credit scores. We look at the last 2 years, and if you made your payments on time, you paid your insurance, paid your taxes, I can help you get into something and have no monthly payment. How about that? If you're
awesome.
selling in California and are you selling in South Carolina where you want to get away from the humidity, right? We want to help people, and that's where the mission is continuing. So I want to close with a prayer and say, thank you, Jesus, for a wonderful person like Mallory, who serves our veterans and serves our veteran community across the state and the Texas Veterans Land Board. I want to thank you for your protection, Lord, for all of our active duty military, EMS, our first responders, and those who are there to stand in the breach and protect us. Thank you so much for all you do for us, Lord God, and thank you for being part of our show as well. Thank you, and amen. Mallory, I can't think of a better opportunity to talk to a great person about a great program than the Texas Veterans Land Board. Again, I want you to go to the Texas Veterans Land Board. That's vlb.texas.gov. Mallory's phone number is 512-750-2681. The Texas Veterans Land Board 800 number is 800-252-8387. And I got to tell you, that's a great place to go to get information and get help. We're going to be back next week with another really great program. We're going to be talking with Colonel John Antel about what's going on in the South Pacific. He is an expert. He's U.S. Army retired. He is incredible at teaching leadership, and he is so plugged in. So we want you to be on board next week. We thank you for being on board. Subscribe to our YouTube. Mallory, again, thank you for being part of our program. Thank you for joining us on the Veterans Impact Show. This is Jim Blythe saying, have a great, great day. Thank you for being part of us.